right.
Hi.
Take two. Hi, all you heroes, villains, and innocent bystanders. Welcome to our first show of A Girl and Her Unicorn comic book reviews. I'm Alan the Unicorn, and this is my...
The girl, Jenny.
We'll be doing reviews of the weekly books and spoiling them profusely. So if you have not read your books, make sure that you stop this immediately, read your stuff, and then come back and see us. Eventually in the description, we're going to have below, we're going to have the times of what book is where. So that way, if you don't want to listen to us babble and babble and babble, you can skip right to the cool stuff that you'd like to listen to.
But you should listen to the babble. It's way more fun.
We're pretty good at the babbling.
We're really good at babbling.
Yeah.
we're kind of experts.
Yeah. The Babylon 5 of comic book reviews.
That's our new nickname.
So let's get started. Yeah. I'll start it off.
Okay.
I'm going to start off with X-Men Black. It is number 2. First Mojo one, but it is number 2 in the X-Men Black series.
Okay.
So X-Men Black was taking over for X-Men Gold and X-Men Blue. They are discontinuing them, and they did this kind of as like a filler series.
Okay.
And this particular issue is Mojo. The one before that was Magneto. In this particular issue, it is written by Scott Ackerman and artists Nick Bradshaw and Andrea Lima. Oh, I'm going to butcher it. Araujo?
Sure.
Araujo?
Sorry.
But it is beautiful. So in this book, not only does it contains 2 stories.
He's
so it's
so
got
hideous.
He is pretty hideous. So if you haven't watched our introduction video, I'm more of a vintage collector. Aww. And I've been around for a couple years. Probably longer than I should be.
Why?
As an adult.
Why?
And Jenny is newer to the group.
He likes to call me a noob. He was gonna pretend like he wasn't gonna say that.
Noob again. So she's not familiar with the hideous amazingness that is Mojo universe. So
not.
he is part of the Shatterstar Long Shot universe. He is...
Which I'm becoming familiar with.
Right, because you're reading Shatterstar.
Yes.
Which is a pretty interesting book if you ever get a chance. I liked it. It was kind of fun. But this particular book focuses on Mojo. In the plot, he is kind of fallen in love with this human who was really rude to him. So he thinks he's in love now because she's a total beast to him.
Why do guys love women that are so mean to them?
It's the bad boy / bad girl complex. It's
like,
pretty
I
awesome.
hate you. I love you.
Perfect. I want you so bad. So and he finds that he loves this girl or likes this girl. So he wants to ask her out. So he ends up going to this cafe where she's at, and he runs into the X-Men that has like see-through skin, which I love. That it's these two hideous kind of characters.
He's like bubblegum.
I know he is. It's not even like muscle. It's like
it's
oozy.
It's blobby.
Yeah,
but muscular.
Right. And so they end up kind of bonding over their weirdness together, and they make fun of Mojo's spider legs, and which kind of becomes a running thing. One of the callbacks, and several times it calls back. Jenny loves the callbacks.
I love callbacks.
And he gets Mojo to try to ask her out. They kind of hang out. They end up at the Xavier Institute or the mansion, the X Mansion, and where Mojo's second in charge sees Mojo kind of becoming like this little like human person. He has these feelings, and he's like, "That's not cool." So he activates this.
You cannot be happy.
Exactly. You cannot be happy.
You are hideous and cannot be happy.
With your spider legs. So he ends up activating this kind of hybrid sentinel. The hybrid sentinel ends up going, attacking the Institute, and eventually they end up, the second in command throws the girl that Mojo likes, throws him at the sentinel. Mojo goes crazy, kills the sentinel, saves the girl, ends up getting a date with the girl. So it's kind of like it's just a little heartwarming story. Yeah. It's nothing like super deep, super amazing, but it is kind of just a fun, quick read. Yeah. And then in the back is a continuation of a 5-part series, and I'm assuming they're doing it through each book. So they did one in X-Men Black Magneto, and it's Apocalypse, and he has been transferred into this human body, and in this particular story, he's starting to become he's kind of coming to terms with the limitations of the human body. Okay. He's used to healing and to being this omnipotent god kind of creature, and so now he's kind of feeling this weakness where his body's deteriorating and he needs nourishment and water, and he's kind of stuck on this place where he's trying to find it.
But he's sad because he's not Darkseid.
No, he's not Darkseid. Dark side light.
Yes.
Dark side 0 with 0 calories.
Sad.
I know, it is.
Because it really looks like him, but it's not him.
It kind of does. But these shoulder pads set him apart. I believe the big giant breastplate / shoulder pads.
You love shoulder pads.
Who doesn't love shoulder pads?
You hate furry boots,
Lucifer, that's who doesn't love shoulder pads. Satan is the only person that does not love shoulder pads. Because they are...
Okay, I'm just going to leave that alone.
My point is proven.
That's not wrong.
So, this book actually was kind of entertaining. I thought it was fun, but there wasn't really a lot to it. If you don't get it, you're not missing much.
They're not story building, or it's not a continuing story.
If you got the first one, and I'm a big completionist, so I wanted to get the backstory to finish the apocalypse, even though that story is okay. It's not that much more interesting.
But
the one thing
didn't build off of Magneto at all. It's not going to build off the next one.
No, I think they're just going on and on. I think the next one's going to be Mystique, and then
which might be more fun.
I'm hoping. I really like that character. They're also going to do a Juggernaut and a White Queen one. So I'm kind of excited to see those. But the one thing that I really did like was Nick Bradshaw. I've loved his art. He's done some X-Men things in here a couple times, a couple series, and I really like his stuff. It's very Art Adams, detailed, very...
there is a lot of detail.
I mean, he's really talented.
It could almost be busy, but it's not because it's so well done.
Right, and he's got a way with expressions. I think he definitely has a...
because even side view is very expressive.
Yeah, he's really talented. So I think that definitely carries the book a lot more for me. Also, I'm a huge artist, a connoisseur. I love good art. Half the time I can't remember the names because I'm horrible at them. But I do love good art.
He's not wrong. You'll see.
You will see. So I would, if you are a big X-Men fan, it's kind of a fun read. If you're not missing much. It's not going to continue anything. It's not going to be a jumping on point for anything. It's just kind of something funny. So if you have a little extra money or you want to download it digitally, I think that would be a good idea. I am going to pick up the next issue again because I'm a completionist, and I'm hoping that I really like the Mystique character, so I'm hoping that it'll be more entertaining. But as far as a rating, I would give it probably a 2 out of 5 unicorn horns. So, if you're a big art person, maybe, or a X-Men fan, maybe you might be more closer to a 3.
Okay.
But yeah, so it was okay. Nothing too exciting. Meh. Yeah. No,
not
much.
Not a but a
meh.
All right. Next, I have these out of order. Let's talk about Titans number 27.
Oh, Titans.
I know.
All right.
We're kind of on the fence with Titans right now. Oh, I know we already said spoilers, but in this one,
Lots of spoilers.
If you don't know what's going on with Nightwing and Batman, you should walk away right now. But anyway, so this is issue number 27 of Titans.
Dan Abnett.
Dan Abnett is the writer, and Brent Peoples is the pencils. And this story is picking up after the first issue of Heroes of Crisis. So Donna Troy is at Roy Harper's grave.
If you haven't read that, that's really good. But there was a big reveal on the end, a big death, especially for the Titans. Again, spoilers, so stop if you haven't read Heroes of Crisis. But they kill off
Roy
Arsenal.
Harper, which is Arsenal, yeah. And so... starts out, first 2 pages are Donna Troy visiting his grave, and then we sweep over to the Hall of Justice with the rest of the Titans. And the premise of the story is basically them just dealing with the fact that Nightwing has been shot, and nobody really knows at this point in this issue what's going to happen with him. Like, they're
not sure if he's gonna live or what.
Yeah, what's
going to
happen.
Condition.
And so we have Beast Boy talking to Miss Martian and Donna Troy. They also have a character who I'm not familiar with because I'm pretty new to Titans. I've only read 3 or 4 issues. But when the Source Wall event happened, this character named Tyler Baines was, something happened to him. I don't know what happened to him to have him in this comatose state.
He absorbed the Source Wall energy and kind of mutated into this person.
Okay, so
this creature.
While they're dealing with Arsenal's death, they're dealing with Nightwing's death, they also have Tyler Baines, who is apparently dying as well. And so, honestly, the story is just kind of panel to panel, them going through, and each character kind of dealing with Nightwing's death, and Donna Troy drinking a lot. which I don't think is typical.
Right.
And so, I mean, it's how is Steel, you know, being affected by this? Beast Boy seems to be the one who's affected the most. He seems to be taking this really, really hard because Nightwing formed this particular Titans team. It sounds like he handpicked everyone, and let's just say they're not handling it well.
Also, you know, he obviously is the leader.
Yes,
so,
he is the leader of the
with
Titans
him gone,
team.
they're kind of their cohesiveness is kind of up in the air too.
Yeah, like he was the glue.
Yeah.
He was what was keeping them together. And so while there's all this back and forth about how they feel about what's going on with Nightwing, what are we going to do? Or do we even have a team anymore? Tyler Baines is basically slipping away. And so one of the characters who's a scientist that they have brought in to the Hall of Justice says that he may have this long shot experiment, but
treatment
that they could try, but he's afraid that it would kill him.
Gonna give him a large dose of the energy that he's already absorbed
Yes.
to try to save him and stabilize him.
Right.
But
And
it's not a guarantee.
no. And what they come to is that, well, he's dying. He's going to die regardless. And so they felt that Nightwing would have said, if we have any shot at all, we need to take it. We need to take that chance. So they try this, and in the end, it doesn't work. And Taylor dies. And so now, I mean, they kind of end the book with just what do we do now? Where are we going to go now? Like this, I think they felt like if this had worked, there would have been some type of hope, I think, for the team. But it kind of ends with just Beast Boy walking away, being very upset about everything.
So did you like this issue?
Okay. I liked it from a continuity standpoint of it brought in things from other books. Like I liked that it tied in Batman, it tied in Nightwing, and it tied in Heroes in Crisis. But the story overall was a little disjointed. And
see,
we're trying to be nice.
I know. So Jenny, I think, liked it more than I did.
I did like it more than you did because there were pieces of it that I enjoyed from a continuity standpoint. But I mean, it's like, what are they going to do? Like,
my thing was, I was really disappointed in the fact that they kind of almost rushed through things. It's almost like, okay, we're going to deal with everything in this book, and we're going to get all this, like, grieving over with, and maybe we might bring it in later. Because, like, the drinking thing with Donna, I felt like some of that stuff could have progressed a lot more, or would have been a little more realistic or heartfelt if it would have progressed longer, instead of just going, we're gonna, so it was kind of a we're gonna grieve, story. We're gonna, like, you know, like everybody's upset, and now we're gonna go on, and what are we gonna do? And I also feel like sometimes it's a little bit out of character. Like I feel like Donna, there's at one point where she kind of stands up, and I feel like she's gonna take charge, but she ends up not doing that. Not
taking charge,
And I feel like that's something she would have done.
And I agree with you. I think that's my biggest letdown from this issue is that it left like I'm already on the fence with this book. And because, like, Donna didn't step up, or no one really stepped up to say, okay, this, for it being such a rushed issue, no one stepped up to say that this is where we're going next, you know? And maybe there's a new team coming on, and maybe there's, you know, I don't know.
Also ready for this Raven thing to be over with.
Okay.
So
that's probably...
So bad.
I have a very big complaint about that because it's like, what, 3 books now? 2 books?
Yes, and every single book they keep touching on it, but it's just like this. It's just like, oh, let's bring it up so we can keep it alive. Bring it up so we can keep it alive.
So her soul self is gone, so she can't.
But somebody's
really
like, they almost made it like out like she's almost possessed by somebody else, like she's possessed by another character they fought in the past.
But, yes, because that happens. Right. But they haven't mentioned that at all since.
Right, and it's just this weird.
And so it's kind of like if you've read Lock and Key and like one of the characters takes out like her fear.
Right.
And she's kind of acting like that where she's just like, nothing bothers her, nothing's.
I don't feel anything.
I don't feel any pain. I don't feel any, you know, and.
Yeah. So I'm ready for that to be over.
With this issue where it's like, every, you know, couple of pages is the different characters kind of feeling their pain a little bit. You're like, okay, Raven, nobody cares.
True that.
And so, I mean, for me... Oh, and also, can we talk about the fact that the variant issue, who is this character?
I don't know, but
and what does this have to do with the story?
I don't know.
I like the cover a lot, and that's actually why I picked this cover over the foil cover.
I can't remember. I'd have to look back, but I'm not for sure if that was the guy that they're trying to save, if that was his mutation. I haven't really.
Oh.
I'd have to look back again.
That would make me happier because then it would make sense. Because at this point it doesn't to me.
Yeah, I got the cool foil cover, which I think I like yours better.
I don't know.
What did you think about the art?
The art is very nice. I mean, it's not my favorite, but it's not
I think
bad.
it works with the book.
It works for the book.
They do pretty well.
But to me, it was disjointed because you had this first page where you had kind of these really muted colors where she's supposed to be visiting Arsenal's grave, and then it jumps to being just a more bright, vibrant. So it kind of, that didn't make sense. I think it was supposed to carry the heaviness of what she was doing, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah, it was kind of weird.
And then you went to these really big, colorful pages. So the art is nice.
Yeah, the art is, and the colors are really nice.
Yes, the colors are beautiful. Like, I love the green that they used for Beast Boy. But overall, honestly, I'm kind of on the fence about picking up the next issue. I kind of want to because I just want to see maybe what they're going to do.
I sadly think I'm going to be
You're done?
Yeah. Only because I was done with the series a while back, and then I kind of got interested. I heard some other things before they did this kind of semi-soft reboot. And came back, grabbed a lot of past issues, caught back up, and they changed it into the source wall thing. And so then it was a different team, and I was
Which we're all over anyway.
I know, I was like, oh, I was like so excited, and I was like, oh, it's gonna be something, that's gonna be something fun, and it just it's fallen flat.
I don't enjoy the
whole source wall thing is just
at all.
fallen
The totality,
flat
the source wall.
I don't understand it. I don't think I'm smart enough to read the books in DC.
You know what? No, that's not true. That's not true. Honestly, I feel like the issue with the totality in the source wall is that it's like this big existential philosophical thing, but the execution sucks.
It really does.
because it just does not translate at all. I mean, it's so convoluted, and it's like I get to where, I picked up this piece, but then I don't.
Yeah, and then as soon as you think you get it, they move something, and something is a little bit different than it might work.
I almost no longer care about the pieces.
So, rating-wise, what would you give it?
I'm gonna give it a 2.
Yeah, I would say a 2 out of 5.
Because it wasn't like the worst thing I've ever read, but it wasn't middle of the road either. No. So it gets a 2 from me.
Yep, 2 out of 5.
2.
2 out of 5. Unicorn horns.
What's next?
All
what
right,
do you got?
I have got Kick-Ass.
You've been
issue
on the fence
8
about this one too.
I know. I believe that you should go to issue 6 and issue 12 before you make a decision.
And this has nothing to do with his completionist issues.
Because when you have a trade paperback, it's usually 6 issues or 12 issues. Like if you buy 2 of them, it's 12.
Whatever you need to say to yourself to justify.
So I feel like this is definitely a way for me to gauge a book.
No.
I try to make it.
I think this falls into your completionist thing. I think it doesn't have anything to do with a trade paperback.
There's a good possibility. Let's just say it's not.
But I'm okay with it.
Let's say it's not. Let's say I really believe that it is to have the trades. Anyway, Steve Niles is the writer, and Marcella Frusin
Sounds good.
Was the artist. This particular series I liked at the beginning. I thought it was an interesting take on it, like how they were going to do it. And John Romita Jr. was the one that started it. He did the original Kick-Ass. And so he started doing the art for this for a little bit, and it was a couple issues, and then they switched to a different artist. They had but this is new character, this lady that is a ex-Afghani soldier, and she is trying to clean up the streets as gangsters' territory. In this particular issue, she's already taken over most of the gangs and made them into kind of like a source of good almost. They're still doing crime and stuff, but she's using the money to go to charities. She's only taking a soldier's wage. And at the beginning of the book, she's stuck in the warehouse from the book before. She gets kind of ambushed, and it's her getting out of it, and it's a couple pages of her getting out. Then they switch to a villain that she put into the prison system, and shows him kind of becoming the big bad guy of the yard. Are you going to eat your cornbread? And he's,
What?
have you never seen that movie?
I don't know what you're talking about.
We'll discuss that one later.
Okay.
But he's becoming like the big bad of the yard. And then it shows her kind of talking to her sister. Her sister's husband's put in a coma, and she put him in a coma, and when she was Kick-Ass. And so
drama.
Yeah, I know. And her sister is going to take him off life support, and if he survives, there's a possibility that he could tell them that she's Kick-Ass. And if she dies,
don't want him to come out of the coma,
right? But if she dies, then obviously her sister's going to be super sad.
Yeah.
So no, not super happy. And then
you have to live with the guilt if you did this.
Right, exactly. So there is drama, and there is kind of a weight to it, a little bit of heaviness. And then when then they show a guy torturing kind of her second in command.
Oh,
and he
my.
tells her, or he tells him where she's like at, where she's gonna be at. Yeah, that's ouchie. That's a big ouchie. That he ain't coming back from that.
Graphic.
Very graphic. And then at the end of the book, they take the husband off of life support, her sister's husband, her brother-in-law, and he starts to breathe on his own. So everybody's kind of happy, and she's got this look on her face like, oh God. And that's where it ends. So
a little bit of a cliffhanger.
Yeah. I have a hard time with this book.
You've been over it for a bit.
Yeah. Like I said, I liked it at the beginning. I thought the premise was kind of interesting, but I have a hard time with it because it's almost too realistic. So when it's that realistic, it's very hard to get behind the fantastic. Like, she's fighting all these guys off, and she's in these impossible situations, and it's almost like too much reality with her life and her job and what she's doing. And then when they show these fantastic things where she jumps through a window and shoots everybody up, and it's almost, you can't get believable, even though it's a comic book,
right? But
it's almost a sense of too much reality, and then it's just hard to clasp onto those other things for me. I thought the character was really neat at the beginning, but now I'm not for sure.
Fizzling.
Yeah, it's just kind of.
Just not catching you.
No.
That's okay.
I think she needs a better cast. I think she needs more. The original Kick-Ass, he had Hit Girl, and then they brought in Big Daddy, which was her dad,
so
and
it's
they brought
the
in
supporting
other
cast is
right
there.
And then he had he had his girlfriend, and he had his best friends, and so there was other people in the book, and his dad, and they did a lot with his dad.
So it's more of a teen book, where this is a just single hero book.
Right, and she has a daughter, and they kind of brought her in really early, and they kind of did some stuff. So I feel like they kind of not jumped the shark, but almost jumped the shark too early. They did all these fantastic things with her before the beginning, and now it's
then they've lost what it's like.
Right.
They don't know where they're going with
now.
That.
They're just kind of getting into the drama, which is okay, but not my favorite. But this particular issue, it was okay. I'm gonna probably pick up the next couple of issues just to see if it gets any better. Issue 12. So close. We're almost done.
Only 4 more issues.
See if it gets any better. Yeah. But only because, again, I'm a completionist. Otherwise, I probably wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. So this particular book, I'd probably give about 2 out of 5 unicorn horns.
So I wouldn't recommend it either at this point.
No, not this point. I'd start at the beginning of the series and read the first couple, maybe the first 6, maybe get the first trade. Those were fun and kind of entertaining, and then it kind of drops off. So as of right now, I wouldn't recommend it highly, but it's okay. The art is really good, though. I really liked the art. The art was really...
seems to fit the story.
Yes. And, it's almost detailed, but not. And so they have
It almost has a junky feel to it, if that makes sense.
I can see that, yeah. And there's a lot of, a detail, but it's more of, a solid detail. I like it.
I'm not sure what you would call that stuff.
But it's almost cartoony, too, which I think the colors kind of deal with that. But, anyways... That's
low rating books today.
I know. We're striking out. Pick a good one, Jenny. Ta-da!
Domino!
And it's
we're really liking this book. We like strong female team books quite a bit. Yes. And Domino has been very fun. So Gail Simone is the writer, and David Baldion is the artist.
Which Gail Simone is really good with. I feel like she does really. She's really talented at writing female casts.
And she's funny.
Birds of Prey, and
she's really funny.
Yeah, she did. I think this is another book. She's had a couple books that were okay. Yeah. But this one is definitely one that I think is one of her better ones. So go ahead.
And this cover. This cover's fun.
So beautiful.
This cover's fun. Pretty. So this would actually be a really good jumping on period for anybody who's wanting to check this book out, because we're starting a new arc, and this arc is Domino and her posse they just kind of finished off something, and we're like, okay, we need to make some money now to keep
mission.
Yep, to keep this boat afloat. And so it starts out in a really cute way, because can we just point out this outfit right now?
Which the artist is so talented. I know we're supposed to talk about art later, but
yes.
I just love him. I think he did Harley Quinn for a little while.
Which makes sense, because this is very, if you like Harley Quinn, this is very Harley Quinn.
Yeah,
I think Domino would be a good Harley Quinn.
I don't disagree. If you do like the Harley Quinn DC book, I think you would like this book.
Yes.
Something, yeah.
Because she's wearing a t-shirt that says my boyfriend was an X-Force and all I got was this lousy t-shirt. And then she has this dog.
That was like, he's eyeballs about to pop out, like he's going to vomit at any moment.
He's always very dopey looking, and it's fantastic. And so... premise of this story is that they are starting out new mission. This lady from Wakanda comes to visit them and is wanting them to go and retrieve this box for her. She does not want them to. Oh, I know where this is going.
Never retrieve a lady's box.
And don't ask her to open it.
Don't ask her to open it.
So Wakanda lady's like, I need you to go get this box. Do not open it. And this box is in Norway. And so they're talking about needing the proper attire, which I think is hilarious because Outlaw never wears the proper attire. She's always...
She's half naked and got a scarf on.
This woman's always going to be underdressed, let me tell you. So they travel
unfortunately, Diamondback's outfit.
Furry boots. No, I hate that furry boots. Alan... Okay, so the level to which Alan loves shoulder pads, he loathes... Furry boots.
They're atrocious.
So just FYI. And so they go to Norway to find this box, and they are met by what looks like a cave girl. Which was really odd to me. And they're a little creeped out because Diamondback's grandmother, because she's Norwegian, had told her these stories of... these
like folklore,
like boogeyman type stories, and so she's a little creeped out to be going here anyway,
especially since like now this little heathen is showing up.
Now this little cave girl has shown up, and is like yelling at them in a language that they don't understand, and she leaves them and starts running towards the forest. So they follow her to the forest, which already sounds like a horrible idea.
I'll be right back.
Yes, so they chase after her, and all of a sudden all of these eyes appear in the forest. And out jumps these zombie vampire...
wraith women.
Bridal party.
Complete with...
I know this sounds
wedding
terrible.
Dress and...
horrific bridesmaids dresses. Which is really par for the course.
Exactly. I think that's a must-have.
And I promise this sounds terrible, but it was really awesome.
It was actually really good.
And so...
which is a testament to Gail Simone and the artist, like how they... I mean, they just do so well that they make these kind of absurd things really work well.
Really work well. Because the dialogue is really funny. I think it's the best part is the dialogue, which we can't really go into because then we'd literally have to read every single panel. So... vampire women show up, battle ensues. Domino lets Diamondback do the thing that she hates to her, which is...
No, not Diamondback. Outlaw. Fastball special.
Yeah, which you can imagine what that is. Just think of a cannonball. It works out really well. It doesn't, actually. And so...
Domino uses her luck to kind of get them all out of it.
Yes, which always cracks me up because that's the thing that they do in these books is like... we're gonna fight. Okay, finally, let's just do that one thing that we know is gonna take care of everything. Okay, let's finally do that. Okay, so that works. They take the vampire ladies out, and it ends up being like this really sad story where apparently they've kind of been possessed or like turned into vampires against their will.
Right, and kind of been doing this for a long time. And just hasn't...
so she's never been able to find her lost love, and this is her grandmother's wedding dress. I mean, it's very, very traumatic and sad. And so they take care of the wraiths or the vampires.
Find the box.
The box is chained up. We're not going to open the box, are we?
We're not supposed to open the box.
No, we're not going to open the box. We're going to open the box. They open the box, and it's Morbius.
Yes.
Who I don't really know who that is.
Morbius is a character that was in Spider-Man and Blade and several other kind of horror vampy books. He's a kind of a vampire-esque character.
Which ties in why they're vampire women.
Mm-hmm. And so they find out it's Morbius, and they freak out.
Everybody yells, put him back in the box.
Back in the box.
But while this is happening, there's a person who I don't know who is.
I'm not for sure either.
Who was watching them.
I have an assumption, though.
Oh, you do?
I do.
What's the
I'm
assumption?
assuming he is part of a vampire hunting group.
Yeah.
And I think possibly they may bring in Blade at some point.
Yes.
Is what I'm thinking. But
we don't actually know who he is then.
No. I don't know by the visual.
Okay.
And they don't really say. They don't really give him a name.
No, they don't say. And so, but he is watching her through these goggles and thinks that Domino is a vampire because of the color of her skin. This is not going to go well. And so he's on the phone with somebody, and they talk about bringing in Blade and bringing in, what's the other person's name? The Harkers?
Mm-hmm.
Whom I don't know. Mm. Okay. So, this was a fun book.
Yes. I have really enjoyed Domino since the beginning.
I have too.
And not, even if you don't like strong female characters, like I said, if you like Harley Quinn was a good book that I think this is kind of reference to. Yeah. I think they do good with the story. The characterization's really fun. I feel like they give it a little bit of weight, but with a lot of humor in it.
Yeah, it's like a fun, fluffy read, but then, like you're saying, you do get attached to the characters, so it's fun.
And these characters are not like big names. I mean, they're not like, I mean, Diamondback hasn't been in a book for a long time. She was kind of a throw-off character from Captain America days, and Outlaw was a kind of a throw-off character from Deadpool back then.
Well, and I feel like even if Domino hadn't been in the most recent Deadpool movie, I don't know that people would even know who she was, because I mean, I didn't.
She's kind of
prior to. So it's been really fun. I recommend this book.
I agree.
I will be picking up the next issue. Art has been really fun. I feel like the art really suits the style of this book, and it has been the same artist thus far the whole way through, which has been fun.
Which I love. I love when the artist stays with the book for
for a long period of time.
Longer than 5 or 2 issues.
He definitely characterizes the characters well.
Very, yes.
And I think they work well together telling the story. So I would recommend this. Yes, I will be picking up the next issue. This is a really good jumping on point. So
yes,
if you're new to Domino, definitely check it out. And I would give it, a 3.5.
I would say a 4, just because I'm a big fan of it. So
like
4 out of 5 unicorn horns. It's one of my favorites. Yeah, I think especially in comparison to what else what the other things that I've read this week. So
and maybe that's what it is.
It's like the biased this week. All right.
Okay.
So next one. Now, Witching Hour was from.
I really like this book.
Witching Hour is from last week. So this is not this week's poll. But I feel like it does have to have a combination with the Wonder Woman issue. Because if you have not read the Witching Hour or the Justice League Dark, Justice League Dark, not as much. Justice League Dark has started it off, but if you at least
it's what kicked off this event, I guess.
You at least definitely need to read this Witching Hour book to kind of get what's going on with the premise with Wonder Woman.
Because this is part 1 and this is part 2.
So if you're a Wonder Woman fan and you haven't picked up the Witching Hour, you may want to get that just so you can understand what's going on with this book.
He's being nice. You have to pick it up.
She's
is a
biased. So Wonder Woman, this issue, I've collected Wonder Woman for a long time. I've been through some stinker storylines, and I've been through some good ones. And I have to say, I'm excited and I'm hopeful for this storyline. I think it's definitely something that is
it's been fun.
Yeah. They've had some really good arcs lately, and the art's been really good in this book, and so I've been really excited for what's going to happen with her.
Don't you even pass by that first page.
I just trying to find the artist for everybody. I know.
The
unicorn. So James
Tynan
is the writer, and
Emanuela Lupacchino.
You're so much better at this than I am.
I try.
I want to be talented someday.
Except I could have completely butchered it, in which case I'm very sorry.
We do apologize if it's not your name.
Completely wrong.
So you open the page and ta-da! Magical unicorns, which we love. So they are the Justice League Dark and Wonder Woman are capturing this unicorn and for its blood, and they're going to take it to the island where Cersei lives.
Just super fun.
Yeah, it's kind of like their payment. So they get to the island of Cersei. She shows up in this big wraith and red hair, and she's got these corset and this big flowy dress. And then they're like, "We just need your help." And she's like,
fine.
Yeah, she's like, fine. And she transforms into a magic person with a trench coat, which is apparently the theme of this book.
Ellen's really got a beef with the trench coats in Magic.
Although I do have to say their shoulder pads look great, but
she definitely has shoulder pads.
Everybody has a trench coat.
It's a prerequisite for a magic character.
John Constantine trench coat, Zatanna trench coat,
but different color.
Chimp trench coat.
But they're all different colors.
It doesn't matter.
It totally does.
Seriously, trench coat. I'm like,
it matters. Okay,
they need to move on past the trench coat. There's other outfits. Cersei sees the mark on Wonder Woman and is going to she's like, okay, I'm interested. So she kind of powers down to see what they have to say. It cuts to Manitou Dawn, which was a Justice League throwback from a while back. Also a magic person. Her husband was a magic guy. A shaman that helped out the Justice League for a while. He passed away, and so she kind of took over as a magic person, and she kind of left the group for a while.
I was completely unfamiliar with her character.
They have done really well with actually bringing a lot of extra magic characters. So like in the Witching Hour, they brought Witchfire back, which she was in the Power Company or Power Corps. I can't remember it was a series for a little while.
I hope they do more with her because that was really fun.
Yeah, I'm not for sure if she died in this one or not.
I think it was up in the air.
Yeah, it's kind of like they left it open. But that's kind of what this Hecate is, this goddess is infecting, or she has placed different power in different people, and she's activating them kind of puppets.
Yes.
So
they're housing her power.
Right. So in this book, she activates Witchfire and burns up a bunch of people. In the Wonder Woman book, she ends up activating Manitou, and she kind of goes on the rampage, and she's going to destroy Night of Parbat, which ends up Deadman finds out, and so I know I really like Deadman. Although I don't like him as a single book. I like him as a supporting character.
Dark.
Yeah. So they have dinner with Cersei, and they explain Hecate, kind of go over all the rules about all this stuff.
Because they went to Cersei because Hecate is her patron.
Right. So she
should have all of this like knowledge.
She kind of uses her power, and she kind of said that she's like, she's not really my patron. I just kind of, I kind of owe her.
It's more like I hate her, and so therefore.
But I want to use her power.
Yeah.
And so they kind of set the rules up about what's going on, about how Hecate has divided her power, and Wonder Woman wants to use her power, use the power that's put in her as a weapon. So she's trying to get Cersei to help them. And of course everybody's like, this is a bad idea. Cersei's trying to help us.
Well, Cersei's not trustworthy.
Ever. Well, I mean, she's a bad guy. Duh.
But she's amazing.
I know.
But she's so bad.
I know, but I really hope she joins the Justice League Dark, because I love her. I know. I'm hoping. I don't think it will, but obviously she's going to betray them.
Because she has to be the bad guy.
She has to be
be
part of the bad guys.
Well, and that's why they're so upset, because Wonder Woman's trusting her to do the... And I think that's kind of a stretch. Like, I don't think she's trusting her. This is what we need to do to make this happen.
Right.
So even though this is dangerous, we have to do it.
So, anyways, they go on, and Deadman shows up and is warning that, Manitou's destroying Night of Parbat. And then in comes Wonder Woman, and she's all fired up. Truly outrageous. Truly outrageous. So she is gemmed up in Synergy, and so she looks fantastic. And I'm sure hilarity's going to ensue.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes.
Yeah.
Also, okay, I do want Zatanna to stop whining. I feel like she's whining a lot.
I don't disagree. I feel like if she brings up, I can't use my powers, I can't use my backwards, we get it. You can't use your backwards. Right. Move on.
We got it. You're having to let Wonder
Woman.
And
I feel like Zatanna would have to. I think she would be resourceful enough. I feel like as a character that she would be able to do something else.
Yeah.
Which they kind of led to, but didn't. So, but I'm with you. I don't disagree. As far as art, I love the art. The art is really, really good. They have really great detail. The colors are amazing.
I mean, he drew Deadman.
Yeah. And I mean, like I said, like even though she turned into Gem, like that last page was just the colors on it and just the look of it is really interesting. So I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, I think it's been really, really good.
Yeah. So I'm definitely gonna pick up the next issue, which is not gonna be a Wonder Woman. I think it's gonna be Justice League Dark again.
Yeah, part 3 will be Dark.
So I'll definitely pick that up, and then I will for sure pick up the next Wonder Woman, just to continue not only with the Wonder Woman line, but that Witching Hour to kind of get that full story, because it is a pretty fun, entertaining story.
Yep. I think Tynan's doing really, really well.
I don't disagree. I think there's...
I was crossing my fingers because I was very excited for this particular event. And I'm like, Tynan, don't let me down.
Don't screw it up.
Thus far, I've been very happy.
Yes.
I've been very nervous about events lately. It's like, I want them to go well, but
But they haven't been, and so I think that's why.
Yeah.
And so, with this kind of tying into the Witching Hour, I definitely think that... this issue particularly was going to be hard if you just jump on.
Yeah, you could.
Or if you're reading Wonder Woman and all of a sudden it's this.
Well, I mean, you could.
You may, I mean, like, you'll muddle through somehow, but you'll figure it out. But I definitely think this is going to be a combination and going to help with that. So I would I would recommend getting both of these. I would recommend the book. It's just a good book.
Yep, I agree.
And then as far as the art is amazing, and rating, I would probably give it a 4 out of 5 unicorn horns.
I'd say solid.
Yeah, I would say it's a pretty good story. It's entertaining art, and I just enjoyed the characters, and so
we've enjoyed it.
Which I was actually surprised about. I was really skeptical of.
You were very skeptical of this, and I was like, I think I'm gonna like it no matter what, just because I want to so bad.
I'm not a big fan of the Justice League Dark characters, but they're growing on me.
I like that.
But I feel like the characters are definitely getting back to what the original Justice League Dark was, and so I think that's helping the story a little bit more too.
Well, and I have the benefit of being so new to comics that I didn't read the original Justice League Dark, so I don't have that to fall back on where it's like, well, this was so much better.
Yes.
So
I feel like they're kind of collecting them back up and kind of getting there, but it's not quite. I have reservations, but I'm really excited with the way it's going.
Yeah,
so
I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
So we'll see what Justice League Dark, the next
Fingers
issue,
crossed.
says.
Fingers crossed.
All right.
Last book.
Catwoman. Number 4. I love this book. I love Catwoman, but I also love that Joelle Jones.
I was to say you like many things about this.
Yes,
like
I
not
do.
only the character, you love the artist and writer, and
Joelle Jones came on to Batman. It was kind of like when I first started reading Batman. She came on board, and I said back then, this is last year, that Catwoman needs her own Joelle Jones needs her own Catwoman book. Like, this woman was meant to draw and write this series. Lo and behold, I think someone heard me.
The heavens opened up.
Yes, the heavens
and
opened
God
up.
said, "Let there be Catwoman."
Yes, because he loves me. So this is part 4 of a series or a story arc called Copycats. So you would want to go back and pick up the last 3 issues to kind of have an idea where this is going. But this was a fun issue because it's a past and present issue, and it's Joelle Jones did the story and the art for the present, and then Fernando Blanco did the art for the past. And sometimes I don't like that because it can kind of take you out of the story a little bit. It did not in this story. Like, it was great. It really flowed well.
And one thing I think we need to mention, especially for this book, is the colorist, Laura Allred.
Amazing.
Not that these other artists or the colorists aren't important, but I think particularly for this book, it was really something that made it pop and really worked well. Like, they have got a good combination. She's a great colorist anyway.
Yes, she does all of her husband Mike Allred's work, and which is usually really bright and colorful and very whimsical.
Pop art,
always beautiful. In this particular series, she's gone for a more muted palette, and it still has this amazing way of the art pops.
Yeah, I don't collect this particular book, but just looking through the stuff that you bring and that we've talked about in the past, it's I mean, like, she's
excellent.
Yeah, it's a great team. Very good. Lots of great commitment right there.
And I will say, I was nervous when I heard that someone else was going to be doing the art on this book, because part of what makes it so awesome is that Joelle Jones needs to be doing both the art and the story.
But it worked.
But this worked. This totally worked. So this particular story, it starts out with a flashback of her and her sister, and it's their parents fighting. And the next page, you see that she is visiting a mental institution where her sister is. So her sister's in a wheelchair. You can tell she is not with us.
There. Yeah.
She is not with us. And so this story goes back and forth. She's having a conversation with her sister. It's going back and forth between stories from their past, such as, on Halloween, they had gone and when they were really young, had gone and gotten costumes and had held up these kids basically that were picking on somebody. Catwoman pulled a gun on them. And so, I mean, the basics of the story is that as you're flashing back, you're always seeing these times where Maggie's like, why can't you be good? And Catwoman is trying her best to be good, but it's always
more
in a
of
way,
like an ambiguously, like,
it's always
gray
skirting
area.
the line.
Yeah.
Yes, where Maggie just wants her to do well, and there's been
because
lots
Maggie was
of,
a nun at one time, and
yes.
and she has a lot more of the quote unquote good.
Yes, she was a nun.
Life, yeah.
She a lot happened with that. She was possessed at one point,
right.
So she ended up stepping away from that particular, I don't know if you want to say calling, and she does get married at another point in time. Black Mask ends up abducting her husband, and that ends up being
mentally torturing
horrible,
her. Yeah.
horrible event where, and I think that's the event that causes her to not be...
to become catatonic and kind of...
to not be the same. And so as you go along the book, that's what you're doing, is you're flashing back to all of these different events that have happened that have brought Maggie to this place. And you discover through this story that is why Catwoman is actually in the city that she's in, because she's here because of the issue that happened with Bruce, the wedding.
Or lack thereof.
Yeah, the lack of the wedding. And so, and that's something that Joelle Jones has really carried into the series. Maybe not necessarily this book in itself, but just that anguish of Catwoman did not want to leave Bruce. And so, Tom King, don't let me down. And so, we're flashing back and forth, like I said, the stories that she went back through. The book ends with this person coming into the room. So Selena jumps to the ceiling real quick, hides away, and
does the spy.
Yeah, the whole because this nurse is coming in. She's not happy about this doctor kind of rushing in, but he's like, no, I've already talked to the doctors. I am allowed to be here. And if you don't believe me, you can go check out the paperwork. And so the nurse is like, okay, fine. He comes in and with a syringe. Gives her whatever's in the syringe and says, hello, Magdalene, this will make you feel like a whole new person.
Da, 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 da. So do you think he's going to use her to...
I would say so. So we know up to this point that, she's in the city for her sister.
That's true. They're going to have to do more with her.
But it's just sad because with this story, with all the back and forth, it's like all these different ways that like Maggie's getting hurt because of Selena. And so Selena's concerned because I'm assuming that this person is a henchman for the big bad that's in this book that hasn't fully been
fleshed out yet.
So I really, really enjoyed this book. I enjoyed the emotionalism of the back and forth, the past and present.
And the art, I feel like, just looking through it, like I said, and talking with you, I definitely, like we said earlier, the art works really well. Because even though it's different styles, when it's a flashback, you feel that it's a different style anyways, because it is a younger, kind of like softer almost art to it. As where Joelle Jones is very angular and like stark. Those lines are really, really well placed, and they're very defined. And so that...
And beautiful.
Yeah.
This is my favorite
She's
art.
very talented.
She's so good. And and I agree that with the softness, because sometimes when you have two different artists like that, they just don't marry well together, and so it takes you too far out of the book. And this one, I agree, it really well, just works
because it's a flashback.
And the way the story was written too, the flashbacks with the conversation, it
needed that softness to it.
Yeah, it really did, because you really felt that Selena
almost a juvenile-ish to it.
She feels the heartbreak of that her sister's in this place, and she just feels like she can't win. Like, you're so good, why can't you win?
I don't know why I'm asking this, but I assume you would recommend it.
I would recommend it. I will be picking up the next issue.
Forever and ever.
Yeah, I am one of those that actually picks up this one and the variant issue.
Yeah.
It's bad.
I know.
It's an addiction.
It's always funny. The Mike, the local owner of our comic book shop, I always go in and I'm like, what did Jenny get? And he's like, oh, she's got a lot of books. And I always ask how many covers she's got, because he gives her all the covers.
Yes, he lets me choose, because sometimes...
Or get them all. He doesn't let you choose. He's smart. He gives you all of them because he knows you're going to get like 2 or 3.
This does happen.
Yes.
This happens with Wonder Woman and Catwoman and occasionally Batman. But don't judge me.
Okay, I don't.
Don't judge me.
Trust me, I have plenty of issues of my own, literally and figuratively.
I can stop a book, though.
Yeah, that's true. I can do that.
I can stop.
How rating? What would you give it?
I give it a solid 4. Actually, probably 4.5. Like, I really like this book.
One of your favorites.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite books.
Top ones that you've talked about.
She's one of my favorite characters. And I like where they're going with the story. It's just a really fun, modern feel, and a modern take on the Catwoman story. And I love, that
kind of bringing her into more than the nowadays, the 2000.
I'm just curious to see where they're going to go, because I don't think the wedding thing is over.
Possibly.
And so I'm wondering how they're going to marry these two things together.
I don't know.
Pun intended.
But if you haven't seen the Batman, the Dark Label, or the Black Label...
You're missing out in life.
That particular book, I wouldn't see why she wouldn't go back to him. I'm just
saying.
Yeah. Just saying.
Yeah, go find that book. You'll know what we mean.
Yes, exactly. Don't download it because they've cut all the good parts out.
Yeah, go find an original.
So rating 4 out of 5. That's a pretty good one.
Yep,
Yeah.
I'm very happy with it.
So we've done our books of the week, but we're gonna finish up with our pull list and go through them rather quickly.
Much shorter this week.
I know my pull list was very tiny.
I feel like I can't.
That's what she said.
What
So I got Iceman number 2. Unfortunately, I think this will probably I probably will give this one up. Yeah. I really liked the original series. It was really well done. I liked it. It was kind of interesting. Something different about the character Iceman particularly. This series, second issue, I didn't like it. I was actually really disappointed that I actually bought the physical copy.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm going to get it again. I would probably say almost a 1 out of 5 unicorn horns. I know, and the art wasn't really my favorite. Obviously, comic artists they're talented in their own right. I just didn't feel like it caught me very well. Yeah. So unfortunately, this one's kind of
because you're more art driven.
Yeah. It's a big factor. The other one was Avengers. Avengers has gotten a little bit better.
Okay, yes, we will say we have been very unhappy with Avengers
so unhappy
for a while.
Yeah.
Like this is issue 9.
Not that this has helped, but
a little bit.
It gives me a small amount of hope that maybe they're going in a semi I don't know, cohesive direction. And also,
I thought he was
the
good
art
to
was
look
really
at.
good. Yes,
I mean,
Neymar was a very pretty.
He was very pretty. Lots of fishnets.
Very pretty gay because I'm pretty sure I've seen lots of gay erotica with this outfit. It's very meshy. I
liked the hair.
Yeah, and the coiffed hair.
But
yeah,
I did think this was better.
I'd say probably
it was better than the last 8.
2 out of 5 unicorn horns.
Yeah, it was better than Iceman.
Better than Iceman, and it's actually bumped up the series for me just a.
But I don't really know where this story is going.
I still don't. Issue 9, I still have no idea where they're going, what direction they're taking.
But and I have a big problem because She-Hulk is one of my favorite characters, and I don't know what the F they are doing with this character in the current Avengers series. I don't like it.
I also don't feel like this particular book, Namor, should be as powerful as they made him. I get he's under the sea, he's kind of in his element, but he took on Thor. Thor's a god for crying out loud. And then She-Hulk. She-Hulk literally lands. I'm just. And I don't understand.
I don't like.
They could have done something a little differently. But anyways, so let's finish your pull list.
We're not really supposed to talk about that story, but we're just really angry with it.
Yes.
So I also had Avengers. I also had The Witching Hour. I've been reading this book called Crowded. So this is an indie book by Image, and this has been a fun read. This is fun. It was one of those whim books that Mike had just brought into the shop. He brought one issue of issue 1, and I was like, you know what? I actually kind of like this book. So he's been getting the rest in for me, and it's fun. I would give it a 3. Elric, I love this book. If you love Lord of the Rings, if you love fantasy type things, check out this book. It's an adaptation of a novel. And this is the 2nd issue, and I'm really enjoying it. The story is fun.
Magic.
So magical. Magic. But this has been really, really well done. I'm enjoying it a lot. The art is stunning. I also get Star Wars Adventures because I love Star Wars, and this is a fun little mini-series that they're doing for Halloween, and it's fun, and I like it. I would recommend it. It's a little kiddie, but the Star Wars Adventure stuff is supposed to be for
a little more
family.
Youthful.
Yeah, but this has been cute. It's been a cute little mystery story.
What would you rate it?
I would give that one a 3. It's still good.
Yeah.
Batman Detective, this gets a solid 4 for me. I'm really liking the series. I'm liking that they're, again, kind of with these other books I've talked about with Catwoman and Nightwing.
Well, you like that whole universe anyways.
I love
the Batman, Nightwing, Catwoman universe. Is just, yeah.
And up to this point, I've been reading Detective for about a year, and it's only been in the last, this would be the 3rd issue, that they're actually doing that continuity thing where you feel like this is the same Batman that's in Tom King's Batman. And I like that a lot. Because up to this point, they haven't really...
kind of in 2 separate books.
Yeah, it's felt very much like they're 2 different people. Yep. But this has been really fun. And then I picked this up just for fun because it had Swamp Thing on it, and I love him a lot. But this is sorry.
Noticing a theme?
But this is the Cursed Comics Cavalcade, and this is really fun. Like, I mean, it's a pricier book because it's $9.99, but you're getting 10 short stories, and they're all done by different writers and different artists. And I have to say that the art has been really, really good. I mean, the stories have been good, but it's, I mean, what are you going to get in 4 pages?
Yeah.
You know, so you
really move the world.
Really.
Yeah.
But I mean, the art, like this art for Swamp Thing, is just beautiful. The colors are really nice. But I just noticed that throughout, like, there's very different art styles for each story, but they're all really, really good. There's an Etrigan story in here, so if you like Jason Blood and Etrigan, really fun. So I actually really, I think you should pick this up. Another 4. I'd give it a 4, especially if you like Halloween horror stories. It's really good.
Awesome.
So, again, my pull list was really big.
I know. That's what he said. You're going to have to pare some of that down.
I know. I'm really
But a lot of these were kind of one-shots anyway.
They were,
so.
yeah. Some of these are kind of, you know, won't be. They don't come every week, so.
Awesome.
It's fine.
Well, that
That's
was
exhausting.
our pull list.
That was exhausting.
I know. I'm going to take a nap after this.
I know.
So thank you for sitting with us with our pull list. If you like what we do, subscribe and share if you get a chance. If you get a chance, also give us a comment, whether you agree with us, whether you disagree with us. If you disagree, let us know why.
Yeah. Is there something we should be checking out?
Yeah. Something we should, definitely.
Not that I need more books on my list.
I'll try to pick up the slack.
Yeah.
But otherwise, we will see you in another week. We hope your pull list is full. Bye.
Bye.